Well, some encouraging signs for the housing market last month. Existing home sales rose to an 8-month high in October after mortgage rates dropped at the end of the summer. But here's the problem. Who is buying? As of 2024, only 3% of Gen Zers owned a home. Redfin reports high rent is eating away at young Americans' savings and holding them back from investing in the American dream, something that Charlie Kirk warned could turn Gen Z towards socialism.
If you have a generation that does not own stuff, then all of a sudden, political radicalization starts to seep in. People are living in apartments endlessly till they're 32, 33. They have 2 kids and they have to rent because the access to the housing market is so impossible. You have an entire population, generation, that is on the outside looking in. And that is a prerequisite for a political revolution.
We've seen some of that political revolution and some of the socialists elected across the country. Scott Turner, Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, says progress is being made.
Today you are announcing here on your show a major milestone for HUD and America. HUD has supported housing affordability and home ownership for over 1 million Americans, and over 500,000 of those are first-time home buyers.
I'm joined now by Housing and Urban Development Secretary Scott Turner. Secretary Turner, you know, it was interesting. I was watching some of your interviews this week, and you actually linked illegal immigration to part of the reason we have a housing crisis.
Well, good morning, Kaylee. It's always great to be with you. And yes, during the Biden administration, the immigration policies crippled our nation. Over 12 million illegal immigrants or illegal aliens came across our border, really stifling our housing affordability and supply issue in our country. And when you have this many illegal aliens coming over, taking homes that are supposed to be for the American people, affordability is automatically going to go up. Kaylee, here's an interesting stat for you. 59% of illegal alien families use one or more welfare programs in America, costing us about $42 billion a year.
Wow.
And so we have to get the immigration policy in order, which President Trump has done and others in our administration. But yes, illegal immigration has definitely stifled housing affordability and supply.
One of the things that I think is really fantastic about the Trump administration is you're always coming up with new ideas, whether it be tariff dividends, the health care payments. And in your case, you're in housing. We've heard about this idea of a portable mortgage, perhaps a 50-year mortgage, and that we can debate the efficacy of all these ideas, but you're coming up with solutions. Tell us about some of those conversations. Do you all get in a room and just plan and think, how can we help the American people? Here's some new ideas.
Yes, Kaylin, you know all too well, having served so faithfully in the first administration, that President Trump not only is a strategist, but he executes on ideas. And so right now there's many ideas, a myriad of ideas on the table as it pertains to housing affordability and helping first-time home buyers in America. I hear it, you hear it, Gen Z, millennials, and others said, how are we going to be able to afford a home? And so not only do we understand it, but you have people, leadership in this country getting together, getting stakeholders together, industry experts to see what is the best feasible and appropriate path that we can take to open up building in our country. And I will say, in addition to that, Kaylee, the regulatory environment is burdensome in our country. And so at HUD, we've taken down burdensome regulations like affirmatively furthering fair housing, which made HUD a national zoning board, restoring local control back to the cities, back to the states, back to the localities. And we're encouraging every locality, take inventory of your regulatory environment to see how you can unleash building and development in your said community. And so these ideas, taking down the regulatory environment, public-private partnerships are all part of the plan.
Yes, and I want to play a clip from back when I was in the White House. People may not know this about you, but you're a leader, you're a faith leader in the White House. Let's listen to what you said. Back when I was there, I'll never forget it.
We're all one team. This is the HUD today. We're encouraging each other. We have each other's back. We know to anticipate what's happening on the next play. We have a great game plan. We got great leadership all around the room. It's a tremendous team. And it's called the United States of America.
And now we see you praying before cabinet meetings. You know, how does your faith lead you as you lead the country on an important issue?
Well, Kaylee, thank you for this great reminder and encouragement. You know, my faith in the Lord Jesus drives me every day. And I believe that God has called myself and other believers like yourself and others in this administration for such a time as this to be servant leaders to our country, to restore not just morality but biblical truth in our country, and give people a platform and encouragement to live out your faith in great hope for our country. We've seen many dark days, but I'm not dismayed. I'm encouraged because, one, Jesus is still on the throne. Two, his word is true. And three, there's believers in our country who want to carry the water and be a witness and ambassador for Christ and serve the American people so that our country, for the posterity of our country, which was founded on Judeo-Christian principles, can not only be upheld but sustained from generation to generation. And my faith, for me personally, is the driver and encouragement for that.
Secretary Turner, well, you were a servant leader during a dark time. It was COVID. We had some of the riots of 2020, and you were a bright light of faith. So thank you for inspiring me and continuing to do so.
Illegal immigration does impact the housing crisis, and the numbers make it impossible to deny. Turner delivered the strongest argument in the room, and he did it with confidence, data, and actual solutions. If you want more breakdowns like this, hit subscribe, drop a like, and let's keep exposing the stories nobody else wants to touch.